I mean, it doesn't. When I talk to him and I hear all the other stuff, it's not a surprise to me. I mean, the first prognosis I got was what I told you guys, and that's all I got at the time. But once I heard more stuff after the press conference, no, it made sense. I don't think there was much of a decision to make after hearing some of the stuff.
How do you just feel about the running back situation? Obviously, you drafted two guys. Do you kind of feel like as much as Raheem gives you, other guys can just keep you rolling?
I mean, anytime you lose a player like Raheem, I mean, Raheem's was a captain, one of the best players on our team, so that definitely hurts. But as you can see, with the way Elijah stepped up when he came in, he did a hell of a job. Have a lot of confidence in Hasty to do the same, and same with Trey. We'll get his opportunity now, most likely to be up. So we have some depth there. I think we always have, but I don't think we've gone through a year here where we haven't used all four of our running backs. So I hope to not have to do that. But after one, we're down one, and hopefully sometime this year we'll get Jeff Wilson back too. But it's always in the league that way, especially with running backs. It's next man up, and we expect those guys to not miss a beat. Yeah, we brought him for practice squad. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, he should be out of practice today.
Do you have more clarity on Wilson's time?
On whose?
Wilson, Jeff Wilson's.
No, I don't. I mean, I think he just started running and stuff. I mean, we're hoping around. I mean, I hate to give a date because just like I did on Monday, I could be wrong. It seems to be a big deal if I correct myself. I'm hoping in November. That's, I guess, the area that we're saying, but it could be a little earlier, it could be later.
Is Kinlaw's injury something that he's going to just have to manage throughout the year, or is that something that he can get over it?
I mean, we're not sure. That's why we're trying to take it slow with him. And when we have, it's gone better. So you got to see how that continues to react. I think we'll be easy with him today. Hopefully, if it continues to go well today, he'll get out there more tomorrow. When he hurt his knee in Dallas last year, it was a pretty bad injury that he ended up going on IR for. He got it cleaned up, but it hasn't healed quite as right as we want. So there's been some way. It seems like it, but when he's gone, it's started to affect him. So hopefully, taking it easy these last 10 days or so, it'll start to get better, and we'll see how it goes day to day.
With Mosley, is there concern that this is a long-term injury?
No, I don't think so. I think we knew we had a chance last week, really, and which would make me feel pretty good this week. I think the traveling, stuff like that doesn't help a ton. That's why he's not practicing today. We'll reevaluate it tomorrow, but I don't think it'll be a long-term thing.
You guys brought in Kirkpatrick during training camp, right?
Yeah.
So is that just one of those things that you knew where he was, you knew what kind of shape he was in case you needed someone, he was at the top of the list?
Yeah, definitely. Josh was someone we were talking to too. We talked to Dre earlier on, trying to get him into camp. I think we ended up signing an extra safety at that time in HaHa. But yeah, these are people we've been keeping track on.
When you were watching the film, how impressed were you by the offensive line? How much of a bigger challenge maybe do the Eagles present than the one that you faced them last year?
I was very impressed with the O-line last Sunday in the run game and the pass game. And I know it'll be a huge challenge this week. I mean, just watching the tape of Philly, I feel like watching the tape of them since I was in the NFC West like 10 years ago. It almost seems like the same guys out there. They still are the same effectiveness. You still see Fletcher Cox doing the same stuff, Brandon Graham doing the same stuff. Anyone who's new is right up to their level. So watching them last week, I think they're as good of a D-line as there is in this league, and we definitely have a huge challenge this week.
There's a question about how Mike McGlinchey would operate, in the rushing attack in space with all that extra weight. How did he come out of that game? How did he look in those?
I thought he played real well. I know he came into camp a little heavier because I think he was a little lighter last year, but I see the same guy, and I think he played a hell of a game. I don't. I've talked to him on the phone once. Seems like a hell of a guy. I really like how he's carrying himself, and you can tell his team's playing real hard, and they looked real well coached in their first week, and know some players who know him. They speak very highly of him.
Does his background, the trees he came from, does it show up on film, what he tries to do?
Yeah, you can see some of the places he's been. You can see how I think he started out as a receiver coach with the Chargers, and I think he really helped Keenan Allen out there, especially talking to Brett about that. You can see how well coached their receivers are, which I'm sure he has an impact on. Their offense does a lot of new things, does some indie things, but they're using their skill set very well.
Kyle, Ayuk, he's obviously extremely talented. He had a very strong rookie season. Do you have any sense of there's an exhale there, like he took his foot off the gas pedal a little bit?
Not totally. I mean, we just, it's kind of what anytime that you do have a setback with a hamstring and you have a guy behind you playing as well as Trent's played, I know Trent wasn't a first-round draft pick and stuff, so that might not be as obvious with the talent level and stuff, but he's been a hell of a football player since he's been here. Ayuk's been a little inconsistent because he's been in and out with his injury and stuff, and that's what we felt was the best chance for us this week. Last week, Ayuk still's got a chance to get that spot up and not rotate as much. Trent just doesn't make that very easy. So these 3 days are important in practice, how we balance out our game plan, how we balance out our routes, and I'm happy with Ayuk. It's nothing against Ayuk. I'm just also happy with Trent too, and I think both of them can continue to get better.
Where does he need to? Obviously, he just started his second season. Where does he still need to grow?
I'm not trying to single out any specifics because it's like every player. You got to grow in every single area. And when it's being, I know this is all being to kind of like we're punishing Ayuk or something because Trent got even reps with them or we rotated those guys. I'm not going to sit here and say he's got to do the A, B, and C to get back out there. It's more we've been practicing the last month, and one guy's been there every day, and I think the quarterback's got a lot of confidence in him. I do. God, I thought that was my phone, man. Jeez. But yeah, if he wants to be out there every single play, he's got to be a lot better than the guy behind him.
Is that your same ringtone?
It is my same ringtone, but it's been on silent for a long time, so it made me nervous.
A lot of pressure on Jimmy Garoppolo came through the running backs last game. How hard is it to get those young guys to be able to pick up those blocks and really protect Jimmy Garoppolo?
It's tough. The one that he threw to Debo, the touchdown pass, they brought two to the back, and Hasty I thought did as good as the job he could do on that. The way that backer blitzed him in the A gap, it's a little bit of a tough situation that you can't make a living putting him in that situation too much. And it was nice that Jimmy hung in there and made the big play to kind of scare people out of that. And then, he missed one blitz pickup, on a play action route down there in the strike zone. I like to say that should never happen, but it does. And definitely happens a lot more than usual in someone's first game. It wasn't something he wasn't sure of. He just hesitated a little second. And once you do that, you can't go or you run into the quarterback. So he knew it as soon as it happened. And because we came out with the win and stuff, I look at it could be a good thing because I think that'll help him not miss it again.
Does he run your scout team in practice during the weekend? And if so, how much can it help you when you're facing a more mobile quarterback to have a guy who can actually throw?
Yeah, he does the majority of the scout team. I'd say he gets about 80% of it, and then we give Nate about 20%, roughly. And so that's usually the main reps that your number 2 quarterback gets throughout the year. So that's always tough on that guy. But it's awesome when you do go against a running quarterback and your scout team quarterback has that skill set. And when you don't have that situation, we try to put in some more athletic guys at that spot. But the defense our defense who's trying to play honest kind of gets an idea when you see, like in the last couple of years, you see CJ or Nick doing the passing plays and you see Richie James come in and do a zone read type play or something like that. So it's cool when they get the same guy every time and you never know what's going to happen, which will be how it is for them on Sunday.
Take 2 more.
I feel like you're killing 2 birds with one stone. He's getting scout team reps running their plays, but maybe there's some crossover their plays and your plays that it can help him if he gets into the game.
Yeah, I think some. I think that's one of the best things for a quarterback where, when there is crossover plays, that's great. But also it's kind of good for, rookie quarterbacks when you're on scout team all year. It's also the only spot you just kind of get to relax and play football. When you're trying to do your own offense and go through training camp all the time, you're trying to learn all this new stuff and attack a certain defense. And that one, when you get a card that's handed up, you just look at it. You try to put it into our own play. It doesn't always match, but you kind of get to experiment a lot of stuff. And I think that's a lot more beneficial for the guys if they do get that opportunity.
Being back in the green bar, because you were in this position just 12 months ago, coming here in between back-to-back road games. So having that experience, how much was that going to help you going forward?
Anytime you know what you're getting into, I think it always helps. The unknown to me when you get off your routine is what messes guys up a little bit. But that's why we like coming here. They do it awesome, but we also know exactly what we're getting into. We have a great facility that we don't have to leave for all the football stuff. We got 2 practice fields, 2 full fields, which is great. The wallpaper's rough in our rooms. That hasn't changed, but everything else is pretty awesome.
Last one.
Is there anything specific you asked Trey Lance to do when he's going through scout teams, or is it just the plays that?
Yeah, try to, if you recognize the play and you can put it in our stuff, try to follow that. The timing of the play, when to look, when you don't have enough time to wait on a play because your scout team O-line is getting beat, don't just sit there and take it. React like you would in a game. it's also nice when you can do that and you have a quarterback like that too, that the defense is playing against. So if it's not there in rhythm, same thing I'm going to want Trey to do in the game: run around, break the pocket, try to make a play, and that's where he can practice it, and at the same time prepare a defense.
Kyle, is there any concern about Armstead's availability for Sunday?
No, I mean, he can't go today, which makes it always a concern. But he wasn't too concerned about it after the game. I think it started getting sore for him the last 2 days, so we're going to be smart with him today, and I'd be surprised if he didn't go, but I can't guarantee that.
Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Good afternoon. You good? Hey, G. How you doing? Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk took one return, and then he went to Sanu. Why the change?
Yeah. Everything we do is situational in game plan. So we're looking at the best situation for that particular situation. Things are always thought out. They're always calculated in terms of what is our opponent doing, what are their tendencies, what area of the field we on. Are you going to get a huge return or you're not? So some of those things go into play. So hopefully we'll get a lot more opportunities this week. You really weren't many opportunities last week. So we're looking forward to that and looking forward to this week. Ambry Thomas. Yeah, Ambry Thomas played gunner for us. He played on the vice for us or corner for us. He played, I don't know what we can do about that helicopter. All right. Yeah, that was Cam's calling, ain't no doubt. So, and then obviously he played kick returner as well. So he played kickoff, and he did okay. His first game for him. That's a tough opponent for him to go against. Detroit is a really good special teams unit. I don't care what their record was last year. They were a good unit. They were a top 10 unit in most polls, and some units they were top 5. I mean, some polls they were top 5. So that is a tough opponent for him to go against. It's a lot of room to grow, a lot of improvement to be had across the board. So still excited about Ambry, and he's up for the challenge. He was in here yesterday early, bright and early, and wanted to get better, and it's been that way every day. And we'll see this week. All right, hoping he makes a jump this week.
I'm guessing this will be similar to your answer on the punt returners, but you've gone between Wisconsin and Gold on kickoffs. What goes into the thought process there, and what do each of them maybe bring?
Yeah, same thing situationally. Depends on what we're doing that game as far as the game plan and what we see on tape and what we think we can take advantage of. I thought our guys did a heck of a job covering. I thought those guys did a really good job kicking off as well when they had their opportunity. And we'll just look at that, obviously, week to week, and we'll always take a look and see what's going to give us the best chance to win and what's going to give us the best chance to set our defense up with good field position so we can take advantage of every opportunity we get.
What kind of confidence boost was it to have Robbie kick the 52-yarder and make it after missing from the same distance?
Yeah, you guys know Robbie. It's definitely a confidence booster for him, for the whole team. for everybody. But you guys know he works as hard as anyone. And we always preach resilience. That's what we want throughout all our players, all the players that we have. So I was really excited to see that us get that exact same kick in the exact same spot and us deliver on that for the team. So that was outstanding. And again, I tell these guys all the time, it's not what happens to you, it's really how you react and how you respond. So you always have the chance to respond. You like to have a chance to respond, but if you go around sulking about the first thing that happens, then you miss out on your second opportunity. And I think that's in life as well. That bee's going to sting you, Jen. Go ahead.
Speaking of bees, like, the only time he gets stung on a kickoff return is when he got returned to the
Yeah.
Why not just go kick it through the end zone and just take it into the 25 every time?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. I think a lot of times, a lot of people try to get it out of the back of the end zone. And we've had times when we're trying to get it out the back of the end zone. We have times when it doesn't go out the back of the end zone. And I think guys will try to kick it out the back of the end zone. We don't really tell our opponents or give away a competitive advantage when we're doing it or when we're not doing it. But, yeah, people say that all the time, and then people tackle them inside the 10 and say, why don't you kick it in play all the time if you can tackle them inside the 10? So it's not you would love to kick it out the back every time, but it just unfortunately doesn't happen all the time.
And Mitch gives you that chance to do that.
Robbie can do it too. Yeah, Robbie's had 4 touchbacks last game. Yeah, so they both can do it. Yeah.
For the layman, what different skill set is there for a return versus a kickoff?
So that's a really good question, Jen. So kickoff, in my personal opinion, and I think most players' personal opinion, maybe even in league circles, kickoffs are a lot easier to catch because they're end over end, and they typically come down the same way. Punts, they vary a lot, like the spin on them, and if you're playing a left-footed punter versus a right-foot punter, is it spinning to the right? Is it spinning to the left? Does he have banana balls where he can start one way and kick it the other way? Does he have balls that go up and drop and fall down? So it's just really the flight of the ball is a lot harder to catch on punts than it is on kickoffs. You know, you got a confident guy that when he wants to do both. You'll get some kick returners you ask them, you say, hey, can you catch punts too? And they'll be, I can try, coach, I can try. So those are the differences, really the flight of the ball and different distances. Kickoff, you can just stand at the goal line, So punt, you could be 40, you could be 50, you could be running back, and then it's a lot harder. Yeah. Good question.
More, please.
A lot of your guys fly under the radar, like coverage unit guys or whatever. Who graded out particularly well or was stellar against Detroit that maybe no one wrote a word about?
Yeah, I think guys do fly under the radar a lot when it comes to special teams. I think that special teams in general is all about field position and helping take advantage. So if you want to say a guy that probably stood out, what you guys can see, I mean, it was Sampson last week. He had the tackle at the 10-yard line. He had 2 tackles in the ball game. We've been really pleased with Sampson. He's done everything we wanted him to do when he came here. We thought he was would be a good defensive player. We really thought he would be a great special teams player and a really great defensive player. So that everything we thought he was, he is, and we're happy that we have him. And Sherfield's the same way. So those 2 guys, the personnel department did a heck of a job finding those guys, and then those guys are living up to what we thought they would bring to the table. So that's been awesome.
Is that unusual to have a guy like Ebicom, a defensive end, who can do some of the stuff he's doing?
It depends on different teams. Some teams I've been on, you have those guys. It depends if you're a 3-4 team, if you're a 4-3 team, what body type that guy is. You typically don't have a ton of defensive linemen that can help, but if you have 1 or 2 that can help, that really can help your units out for sure. And especially one like Sampson. He's been doing it, and it's not like I'm saying anything that Sampson hadn't been doing when he was at the Rams. I mean, quite honestly, we're sick of blocking him and Sherfield, so now they're over here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Good? All right, thanks, guys.
I want us to just go out and I want us to play, more relentless. I don't think guys were real proud about what we put on tape. I want to play our style to the fullest ability, and that starts today in practice, Wednesday practice.
Okay. I assume part of what you're talking about is that they had, runs of 15, 16, 20 yards right up the middle, which is didn't see that much against this defense. What we're seeing is some guys out of position, but I mean, just as a defense, is that like we cannot tolerate this?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, first and foremost, got to stop the run. That's always those busted runs are all technique issues that we can for sure get clean. We're gonna get cleaned up. But no, what I was talking about is just more so just like our mindset down in, down out, how we're flying to the football, all 11 swarming. That's what I want to see.
Fred, how well does practicing against Trey Lance prepare you for a mobile QB like Hurts?
I hadn't even thought about it, but yeah, it's gonna be pretty close. Yeah, he's as mobile as they get.
What's it been like in past years when you've had CJ or Nick's back there, and then Richie James comes in? Is that a tell? Like, I mean, is it more more mystery to it when a guy like Lance is in there?
No, they did a great job as well. CJ is sneaky, sneaky fast when he's out there. But no, Trey does an outstanding job back there. I know he's going to give us a great look.
You guys are so aggressive on defense. Do you find that offenses try to use that against you sometimes? As you're over run a play and then they cut it back, and how do you guard against that?
We do preach being physical, being aggressive, but also being assignment sound, being smart players. There should never be a situation where we're all flowing or like out of a gap, trying to just freelance or make a play where they will have an open gap or anything like that. So we just got to make sure we're assignment sound, fundamentally sound, and we'll be good.
People weren't freelancing on Sunday, but there did seem to be big holes. I mean, what was the issue that you need to correct there?
Just technique, honestly. Stuff that we practice every single day. It was nothing major that we can't get cleaned up.
Like Trey Lance, you have Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy and George that you're going up against in practice. How much is that going to bring for Nelson or tackles?
That's huge, very big, because both those players you mentioned are going to present big challenges. Both of those tight ends are really great route runners. Just great tight ends in general. So George is as good as they come when it comes to running routes and catching the football and run after the catch. So that'll be good to go against him a little bit.
Fred, a division with good quarterbacks, a lot of elite wide receivers. You now no longer have your top cornerback and Brett for the rest of the season. Not that you get into specifics, but does that change what you have to do defensively? You have to tweak things to compensate for that loss?
No, obviously we're going to miss Jason a lot. That obviously is a big loss, but it is a next man up league, and we're going to have somebody step into that role, and we're going to play the exact defense that we're accustomed to.
Just felt very well travel a lot these last 2 years, especially like what you're doing now. What kind of toll does that take on the team? Just getting into the flow of things.
It's just a different environment. I wouldn't say it takes a toll at all. If anything, I think it's an advantage being able to just fully focus in on football. There's no distraction when you're out here. There's nothing else to do but just focus on football. So I think everybody's bought into the process and taking it day by day.
Having played the Eagles previously, what did you see on film against the Falcons that kind of made you go, okay, that's different than the past? And what's their kind of offensive identity that you can tell?
Well, I think they have a lot of great receivers this year, a lot of speed out there. They want to get guys in space, and the players who have been there are the exact same. Miles Sanders is still an outstanding running back. Their tight ends are still, great tight ends, and Jalen Hurts continues to get better and do great things. So we just got to make sure we're assignment sound. Good? All right, guys. Thanks.
Thanks,
It's like in West Virginia. A little humid.
How are you liking it, Jimmy?
I'm liking it so far, man. It's I think my third time here, I think, so becoming a regular and kind of.
What did you learn from the previous 2 times?
Trying to think. I've learned the Greenbrier. It's a complicated layout, so just getting around in there is it was difficult at first, but I feel like I've come a long way with that. So yeah, just that. It's a lot more humid out here than California, so gotta get used to that.
Having been in this position just 12 months ago, you know, back-to-back road games and staying here in between, how does last year help you guys with familiarity?
I think just knowing the layout, like I said, knowing the layout is a big part of it, just with the scheduling and everything. It's a little bit different than what we're used to back home. So getting place to place, the bus drivers are awesome. Those guys learn more about West Virginia every time from those guys. They're a fun time. But, yeah, just the familiarity with it, getting used to it. And, I mean, out here it's gorgeous, so you can't beat this.
Jimmy, obviously losing Raheem for the season is a big deal. How do you feel about the young guys, the 3 guys that are still here, as far as how they can kind of keep things rolling?
With Raheem, it really sucks. It does. Just there's no way around it. It's one of those tough breaks for him. Just get started. It was off to a hot start like that, and then you lose him. So we're gonna miss him. But the young guys, like Elijah did in the game, and Hasty, I've seen it last year with Haste. He's always ready to roll. He's a gamer. And then we'll bring Trey along, get him ready for this week. I mean, they're a good group, and they really are. They complement each other well. It's a little bit of different taste with each one of them. They each have their own style of doing it, but it's all effective. And I think with the O-line we got, tight ends, fullbacks, even receivers blocking, it makes for a good group.
Jimmy, given what you guys went through last year, injury-wise, as a captain, do you feel the need to tell guys, like, hey, let's not fall into this, like, here we go again kind of mindset, and stuff like that?
Yeah. I think it kind of happens naturally, too. Just, with the last 2 days working out here, it's been talked about. It's something that you have to address. It's not like it's, you could avoid it in any way. So it's just one of those things. You got to stay hydrated, do all the right things, the little things behind the scenes, getting with the trainers, getting with the body maintenance people. I mean, there's a million little things that go into it, and we just can't get lazy, especially, early in the season. It's going to translate to later in the year and just on and on. It's all tied together. So I think attacking it early and getting on the right page, we'll be in the right spot.
Jimmy, building off of that, talking about COVID as well is another angle of that. What's kind of the talks and conversation throughout the team?
Just be safe, especially out here. New territory for us and everything. Always trying to wear masks as much as possible. Not try to go out too much and get into the West Virginia life. I don't really know what's out there. I haven't been outside the Greenbrier, but just being smart with it, really.
When you look at the Eagles on film, reminiscent of last week, you didn't play against them, and just what do you see with those guys?
Yeah, similar to last year, a little bit of a different scheme with their new coaches and things like that. But the front's the same. A lot of talent up front. They're as talented as fast as they get. So it'll be a good test for us. But in the back end, they got some talent too. With the new corners and everything, it'll be a good test for us.
How impressive did the offensive line play against Detroit?
Very, very impressive in the run and pass game. Really, it's just those guys they got off to a good start. They were rolling up front, and it makes everything easier when those guys can play like that. And just when the 5 of them are working together, even with the tight ends and Juice as the fullback, makes for a good scheme.
Those young running backs, how do you get those guys accustomed to doing what they're supposed to do in the line when they're not playing the ball?
Say that one again.
The young running backs, getting them adjusted to what they're supposed to do when they're not carrying the ball.
Oh yeah. I think that just comes from practice. It'll come from the reps. The communication with the O-line, me, Coach Turner does a great job of getting those guys ready. They're always ready to come in and just. We have a pretty good rotation with the 3 of them, and so it's kind of pick your poison. But those guys are always ready to roll, and so just the communication part of it, being on the road in Philly, it'll be loud this week, so that'll be a good test for us too. But I think those guys are ready for it.
Jimmy,
Couple
you
more,
talked
please.
about, there's one specific pass or play just that highlighted just that you're even more comfortable in this offense, like it's just more natural. I think people just assume either, that was last year or 2 years, you know what I mean? But, is there just, could you feel that in week 1, just a different level of comfort?
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint one specific one, like you're saying, but I think just the overall seeing the picture of the defense, the smooth operation between the huddle to the line, all all that stuff I think just comes with experience and having run it through practice, through preseason, through the games. It's all starting to add up now, and it's just it's slowing down for me out there. So starting to see it a lot better than I was in the past, and just calling it as a whole, feeling the rhythm of Kyle, the offense. It's really, I mean, we still got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong, but it's coming along.
Well, you had that fumble.
Well, yeah. See, I appreciate that. Keep me honest, man.
There's been a lot of talk about Trent Sherfield and getting more playing time than IU. What have you seen from Trent that you think has contributed to that?
You know, it's one of those situations where it's competition's going to bring out the best in everyone. You know, Trent and BA, they bring it every day. They're guys who, you know, you can rely on them in tough situations. They're always battling. Just when you could, as a quarterback, when you could have a receiver that you know where he's going to be when he needs to be there, it puts your mind at ease. And it's one of those things where you're thinking about a million things as it is. If you could, you know, cut one of those things out, it makes for a lot easier of a play. So the two of them just. Those little things like that go a long way in a quarterback's eyes.
Do you see a difference between Debo this year and Debo in previous years? Which areas would you say he's changed?
On the field, I mean, Debo's been a dog. He's been a player for us since he got here as a rookie, and so it's not too much has changed in that aspect, I would say. But off the field and on the field, I guess. But his leadership has come a long way. Just the way that he leads that group. One-on-ones, he's the first one up to go. Usually he's ready to roll and kind of sets the tone for those guys. And, you know, I give him a lot of credit for that because I don't think that came naturally for him, especially as a rookie. You know, you're kind of learning as you go. But he really embraced that role this year, and it's really helped us out.
Thank you, Jimmy.
All right. Thanks, guys. Enjoy West Virginia.